Hey guys, it's Wahima, but just call me Wah. Melanated! Welcome to this episode of my review slash recap of Iyanla Fix My Life, Addicted to Crack. We're talking about the Mitchell brothers. This is the look that I'm going to be showing you today. Thank you for doing this get ready with me. I'm on my way to a baby shower, so I'm already late. It starts at 2:30. It is now 2:55 and it is an hour away. So let's get myself together. All the information about what I have on my face will be down in the description box, so if you have any questions, look down there. This was a really good episode, so let's get into it. All right, so I'm gonna start out with moisturizer. I have already toned my face. So some of you were inquiring about the primers that I use and why I use so many. The reason is because my forehead gets greasier so quick than any other part of my face, and the primer that I put on my face does not work on my forehead. And I really found that the Too Faced Peachy Primer, Cooling Matte Primer, works really well on my forehead, and it helps to keep my makeup looking good all day. Whereas the Angel Veil works well on the rest of my face. And then for as far as the eyes go, I put an eyeshadow primer because, you know, you just put eyeshadow primer. You don't have to, but my eyelids get very oily. The same thing with my forehead. And each specific primer that's meant for the specific area, for me, works the best. So you don't have to do that. If you find that one primer or no primer works for you, you know what I'm saying? God bless. All right, so let's jump into this episode. So I thought that this was a pretty decent conclusion. I think that Iyanla did all that she can do and all that she honestly should do for this family. There needs to be some deeper individual help, I think, with the kids. But where we started off in this episode was specifically talking about Kizzy and her relationship with her mother. I found myself not relating to Kizzy as much as I did the boys, and maybe it's just my bias because at the end of the day, I do feel that even though she too was abandoned, yes, I do feel that her circumstances were better than the boys. I don't feel that it was her responsibility as a 14, 15, 16-year-old to figure out where her brothers were. And I think in the beginning of this, Marcus did feel like it was her responsibility because he would have come after them if it was him. And Iyanla explained it very well that, like, yes, you would have because of the environment you were in and whatever's happening in your life, but she wouldn't have. And I agree with that. I think that she just may not have had the tools. Let's start off with the beginning of the segment because I almost went to the conclusion of the segment. So at the beginning of the segment, we see the relationship between Kizzy and her mother. The mother is in a place, I think, where she's gotten her off drugs and she's in a better place. And I think she's just looking for a situation from most people that's kind of like, look, I had a dark place. I was sick. She refers to it as being sick. Now, I don't know if she was actually sick, which caused her to use drugs, or she had some kind of mental issue, which caused her to use drugs. But like, she says it as though it was a sickness. And so, you know, is that what you need to do to get through, to break through and get the monkey off your back and get better, then go on ahead and say whatever you need to say in order so that you can, you know, find your help that you need. And Kizzy's like, I feel like you don't like me. I feel like you're jealous of me. And I felt like this all my life. And I don't understand why you don't like me, why you don't love me. And she's just really hurt about being left with her grandmother. I wanted to know more about the pathology between LaRonda, who is the mother, and her mother, who is grandmother. I want to know what that situation was like what their relationship was like, and how she ended up only taking the oldest child, and that's it. Also, I have a sneaky suspicion, and just because of the way it was set up, and just because this relationship was never spoken about, I feel like Kizzy is not Michael Sr.'s daughter. That maybe that's part of the reason why she only took Kizzy. Like, maybe she never liked Michael Sr. I mean, I don't know, right? Doesn't it seem weird? Because Iyanla never touches on the daughter-father relationship in that dynamic. And I don't know why. And I was just thinking maybe it's because Michael isn't her biological father. I don't know. I'm just guessing. Anyways, I think that Iyanla did a good job. She brought Marcus in, obviously, and Marcus was talking to Kizzy, and they had almost started to have a row. A little spat, a little fight, because Marcus still can't see it from her perspective. Marcus feels like his sister just didn't do enough, and she only wrote certain siblings and like was kind of shady about the whole situation, and that he's jealous of her, that the sibling, that he's jealous. And Iyanla kind of like dismisses his jealousy of Kizzy, which I don't think it's fair. And I think he has every right to be jealous of her and to feel some kind of way. Like, I don't think he has the right to feel that she owed them something. Like, she should have just like figured it out, hitchhiked from wherever she was to wherever they were and took them out of the group home so they could all be one happy family. I don't think that is like, that makes any sense. And that's like a childhood, I think, child thought to have, but Iyanla also says, like, those are past behaviors. You're judging her for those past things. Like, change the battery, change the narrative. That's not who you are. And he's just like, I can't let go of it. And I'm like, I understand him. I understand not crying Kenyatta's cry with her, not crying Kizzy's cry. Like, at the end of the day, yes, Kizzy was abandoned herself. She did go through it herself, but she didn't have it as bad as those boys. And I know that from her perspective, as that 13-year-old child who was abandoned, she's not going to see it like that. From the 38-year-old woman, and God bless their genes, you know what I'm saying? Black don't crack, skinny itty bitty mini, they don't look like their age at all. I look like a weird pirate. And then even LaRonda has the audacity to try to step up and tell Kizzy, well, you should have did what you needed to do as a grown woman. Like, you're 38 years old now and you're still mad at them. I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa. And so was Iyanla. Iyanla was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Don't you even set her up in any way to make her be bad or like she's wrong in any kind of case. That's the way you raised her to be. That's who you raised her to be. And she's like, I'm not trying to say she's wrong. I'm like, yes, you are, ma'am. You are trying to say that in some way Kizzy was wrong for not reaching out to her brothers, and she's wrong for not having the relationship with them that she should have at this point in her life because she's 38 years old. And I'm just like, you know what? No one has had therapy. No one knows how to heal from the stress that they have gone under due to being abandoned by you, LaRonda. So don't come at her like you should, reach out to your brothers more. You need to do more for your brothers. Like, she's trying to do what she needs to do for herself, She's had some bad issues, bad conversations, bad blood with Marcus over her duties as an older sister. And it's not easy for her. And I can 100% see that. It's not easy. It's not easy to bring people in your life just because they're blood relation to you. If you don't get along with somebody at the end of the day, it's hard to bring them into your life. Like, you can see them at family events. You can make efforts to call them. But if someone is not woven into the fabric of your life like that, it's really hard to all of a sudden decide that they're going to be woven into the fabric of your life simply based on the fact that you share the same blood. You might not share the same experiences. So I could see if Kizzy's got her own thing going on, and like, it's a shame that their kids don't know each other, because that's a whole my first cousins are some of my favorite people. And for me to not know my first cousins because my dad's and his siblings weren't talking is a little sad. You know what I'm saying? They have to take the time to understand each other and who they are as adults, and leave the past behind and not hurt each other over things that none of them could have handled as children. LaRonda, though, I feel like Mama has checked out. She can't give. Kizzy wants something from her that she is incapable of giving. And I was so happy when Iyanla just pointed it out and was like, baby, she can't give you that. You want the mom to come back. You wanted her to, when you were, when she was heavily on drugs, you didn't care that she was on drugs. You just wanted her to take you along. And Iyanla's like, girl, it doesn't make no sense for somebody who's heavily on drugs to drag her daughter around. That's got to be very hard. Also dumb. Like, Kizzy, you got kids. Like, I get that's what the little girl inside of you wants, but like, as an adult, can you not appreciate the fact that she didn't do that? Because I've heard of situations where mothers did carry around their daughters when they were on drugs. And guess what they had their daughters out there doing? To get them money for their drugs. The family actually stepped in and made sure that Michael and LaRonda did not have access to those kids, because finally when they were off drugs, and they didn't even really get into the relationship between Michael and LaRonda and what happened with them and why that whole situation fell apart and their drug abuse and whatnot. But it looks like the family put things in effect so that LaRonda would never have access to the kids again, because she might most likely probably put him in a bad situation. Kizzy should understand, but she's hurt. So I get that. Especially the fact that she has kids, knowing she has kids, and she's like, I want my kids to have a relationship with my mother. I think to myself, why? I mean, I guess I don't have that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't have that in my spirit. Like, if people are bad for my kids, no matter how they're related to them, I'm not going to force any of that. I don't really think it's necessary for just because we're blood for you to be around my kids. It doesn't make any sense to me, personally. So guys, all the details about what I'm using and everything will be down in the description box as always. Sorry, I'm not talking about it, but you know, we just want to do this. Get ready with me real quick. I got a baby shower to go to. I think that LaRonda must have whatever kind of learning disability that Michael has. I don't know why, but I feel like maybe it's just that she really is not in a place in her spirit where she can accept full responsibility for what she did, because she's just not that kind of person. You know what I'm saying? You know those people, right? You know those people who just can't accept responsibility, the gravity of what they've done, either because they don't have the capacity in them, they don't have the brain power in them to really understand like emotions or other people's feelings. They can only really pick up on their own emotions and feelings. Like, not that they don't have empathy, but it's just not ingrained in them when they were little. Like, their survival skills didn't depend on that or something. I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about, but I've run into people like that who are just like, you tell them how you feel and they just like look at you. Like, they don't have any like reference on how to empathize with it. Like, how to like go, oh, okay, let me put myself in that situation. That's how I would feel. They just hear the words you're saying, but it doesn't sink into them. You know, I've dealt with those people, especially when you're trying to tell people how they hurt you and they just like look at you and then they're just like, I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. Like, and I'm just like, but you can say you're sorry, but like, if it doesn't hit you, then it doesn't matter to me. You know, that's personally how I feel. But anyways, that's how I feel like LaRonda is. Like, I feel like she let go of the fact that she wasn't going to be that kind of mother a long time ago and is now looking at her kids like, I wasn't that kind of parent. Why didn't y'all let go of that a long time ago? Of course I wasn't going to come back and get you. I couldn't. And when I tried to come back and get you, nobody would let me see you. So I'm just like, wow. LaRonda's saying that whenever she does speak to Kizzy's very disrespectful to her. And part of me is like, you know, maybe you should be respectful to people as humans. But like, sometimes, if LaRonda is expecting Kizzy to be respectful to her because she's her mother, I think LaRonda is wrong for expecting that. Now, if LaRonda is expecting her to be respectful to her because she's another person, okay. And if Kizzy's just out of the gate being rude and LaRonda's just like, no, I'm not going to accept that behavior from you, I can see that. But sometimes I think parents feel like just because they birthed you that they automatically get something from you. And I don't necessarily think that that is valid, especially LaRonda and all that she's done to her kids. Like, she doesn't deserve the natural mother respect. And the reason why she's not getting it is because she wasn't there. You know, it's one thing to respect your elders, but like, even then, like, I have a problem with respect your elders because sometimes your elders ain't shit, and I don't feel like you should give them your energy like that. I mean, you don't have to be outright rude to them, but you don't need to like go and get them a cup of water when they ask you. I'm like, what's wrong with your feet? I want to know what kind of disrespect LaRonda's talking about, because Kizzy doesn't owe her that much. Oh, okay, so after that, there's a little powwow in the living room. The boys get ready. They put on suits, and it's like a little graduation ceremony where they are going to be graduating from the healing house and having done their work and working with each other and whatnot. There's like a tailor in there to help them get dressed. It's really nice. And Iyanla gives them all a certificate stating their, oh, I didn't even talk about Michael Child and Denzel 101. Apparently, Michael has an 8-year-old daughter. I would like to have a conversation with the mother of that 8-year-old daughter, and I feel like she somehow took advantage of Michael, unless he took advantage of her. Because I'm just like, who would have a child with Michael? What responsible adult would have a child with Michael? He doesn't look like he should be anybody's parent. Like, he just doesn't look like he can give that kind of love. And apparently he doesn't have custody or access to his daughter. So I'm not wrong in my assessment of his possible failures as a parent. I'm just like, who did this? So this is what Michael does. Michael gets on the internet and puts up videos of himself gyrating and behaving in a manner that is sexual in nature. I guess trying to show girls how great he is, or teach guys how to love girls. I'm not sure exactly what's going on. And he's just saying that he wants attention, that he wants to get famous. And Iyanla points out that it's because he's never been paid attention to. And in fact, Michael does have a conversation, a one-on-one with his mother that I forgot to mention, where he talks about how he feels like she doesn't see him. That she can come into a room and start talking to people but won't acknowledge him or barely will acknowledge him, and it makes him feel invisible, and that she doesn't love him, and he felt like he wanted to kill himself at some point. I don't think his situation is that bad to where they would ignore him like that, but I think when you just don't know how to deal with a disability in general, like that might be your reaction, is just to ignore the person. He was also molested in the group homes and treated poorly in the group homes. And so that broke my heart too. So Michael is just kind of doing whatever he needs to do to get attention from those around him because he doesn't feel it. So he goes on the internet and makes videos, you know, dancing around in a trash bag naked and grinding on the ground. He says that he's going to stop doing it. We find out at the end of the show that he hasn't stopped. I was so close to looking it up. Then I was like, do I really want to see that? Yeah. So they all get dressed up. They have their little graduation type thing. Iyanla gives them all awards. And, you know, Marcus has such a great breakthrough. All the brothers do. I mean, Marcus talks about the fact that, you know, that Miguel is his left hand and his father is his right hand, and he's going to learn to be better, and he's going to learn to be more patient, and that, you know, he forgives them, and they all forgive their parents for their behavior. And I was just like, okay, all right. And they're trying. But you're going to at least go, okay, this was my experience. It was terrible. But in order for me to heal and be a better person, I just need to let it go and move on and know that my parents are never going to be the people that I want them to be. And I think on the other hand, the parents need to understand that they're never going to be what they want to be in their children's eyes. And that, I think, is the most important. So as long as LaRonda and Michael understand that they have already forfeited that normal, natural right that they see other parents having with their children, and normal, natural other relationships, and that normal, natural other respect that their kids have, with their parents, that they just have forfeited that right and they no longer will have that relationship, and just figure out who they are as adults, you know, like person to person. And I think that's probably helped a lot with Marcus and Miguel getting to know their dad. It's just like letting go of the fact that he failed them as a dad, but like as a person, he's somebody that they like, you know, that if they let go of the fact that he did that, that he's not going to be that person for them. And then Michael lets go of the fact that they're not going to treat him the way he feels he should be treated as a parent because he failed at it. Like, then they'll be able to both move on and be happy. Everyone said that they were going to try and they're going to love each other and do the best that they can. I thought it was really great. At the little end, the little blurb saying where everyone is, everyone's doing well. It seems like LaRonda's the only person who really hasn't reached out and tried to be better. And they're doing their best. And that's really all that you can ask. So I really do love the Saharan palette by Juvia's Place. I use it all the time. I told myself I'm not going to buy any other makeup because why? When I have so much that I just need to blow through. So I'm probably not going to buy makeup for years. I wonder what next week's Iyanla's going to be like. It didn't record for me, so I don't know what's coming up, but I really hope it's like good. And I just wish the best for the family, you know? I really, 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 really just wish the best for the family. All right, it's a matte lipstick. I've been taking a break from matte lipstick because I feel like my lips have been crusty lately. But I'm going to baby shower. I overdrew this side. Oh well, it's gonna be big lips today. All right, you guys, so that is the end of this video. What did you guys think of this situation? How did you think Iyanla handled it? How do you think I think this was just so good. But you tell me what you think. All right, you guys, thanks so much for watching this video. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please leave them down below. Let's have a conversation. And remember to be you, be true, and find your place. Bye.